Welcome back, everybody. It's NFL All Day time. We got NFL All Day both ways. We're talking sets this week. It's your host, Andrew Hall at Andrew Hall FF. With me, as always, is Jordan Rains. How you doing tonight, Jordan?
I'm doing great, Andrew. It is excellent to be with you here again, continuing to learn more about the platform and the experience of NFL All Day. I'm an NFT person. I'm a fantasy football person. I'm an NFL person. I'm a person,
Who
and it's
knew?
it's really really been fun to this is something new. The world in a larger meta sense is really changing and evolving. And one of those things, football's been around, 100 years or whatever. I got my Vince Lombardi, autobiography back here. But we're entering a stage where it's a game and it's digital moments and it's partial ownership of these collected human experiences. And to be on the forefront of that with you, to learn about it, to speak on it, and to hopefully help other people kind of understand it. And just like our motto is, be better fans. I mean, honestly, I'm hyped, you know what I'm saying? So good to see you.
Always a pleasure. Yeah. And here we're talking about things all ways, all days, all these things, right? Both ways specifically. I know last week you talked about the marketplace and kind of what was coming from that. We had a really good discussion, got down some different rabbit holes. I'm guessing, and I'm assuming anyway, if you're listening to this too, you had some fun in the marketplace in the break there. And I know we still don't have any updates, at least that I've heard yet, about the historical two drops. I mentioned them briefly last week, but just to kind of clarify for anybody who's new, generally speaking, there are series that happen with live action plays like current seasons. And then there are historical series that happen for plays in the past. So what they started with all day started out doing just series one. They said, hey, we're releasing it during the season. We're going to try to release some series one moments and go through the 2021-22 season and kind of get some of those moments out. But then during the calendar year of 2022, they started the historical season. So anything that was released in the historical version was all part of that set. And then once January 1st hit, it transitioned into what they now call historical 2. So now we're in we're in 2023. We're in historical 2 set is the open set at the moment. Series 2 ended a couple of weeks ago with those last playbooks and kind of finished all those up. All those moments are minted and done. The last playbook that just ended actually had some moments for the historical 2 set. So that's why I thought it'd be good to bring up how these sets kind of work within a series. To kind of bring it down from the top. So again, you've got series, which is the whole, the year pretty much. You've got the football season and then the calendar season. And then you've got the sets within that series. And that's kind of what we're going to be getting into a little bit today. I know, again, we're kind of new into this. You've seen some moments, you get some ideas, but I guess, Jordan, before we even get into first down, like, what do you know about sets in general? What is your history and historical mindset, I guess, when it comes to set collecting with cards or moments of any kind?
Well, I have to my card game was Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh. And I was a little on the younger side, so it was more about just like getting your guys, you know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
as far as sets though, is that when I think of sets, I would think more of like, okay, like Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard. Is that kind of a similar sort of narrative here? Or are we talking more like fire type? Or are we talking more like that's where my frame is, or maybe like I said, would be all of a certain player. So maybe I get a holographic of this player and then a non-holo in a first edition. Is that more like what you mean?
Kind of, yeah. So sets are really kind of, and I'm glad you asked. I'm glad I asked you. I guess I'm glad you answered because sets are something that everybody takes a little bit differently, and that's why I was curious what your thoughts were on this. When you're collecting cards, like football cards back in the day, right? You'd have, I don't know, like a base set of a certain amount of cards that are all in that base set. And then you might have limited edition sets, which are added on top of that. So there might be, 100 moments, 100 cards, I guess, in a base set. And then you might have 35 cards that are in this limited edition set. And sometimes those are considered inserts or like, SSPs or whatever you want to call them in the card collecting world, where super short prints, these kind of hard to find sets.
Yeah.
And it would be like, 35 players and it would say like brilliance, or it would say like, go for the gold, or like different things on them that would designate them.
Okay, I know what you mean. Yes. So like a limited edition, like Yu-Gi-Oh did that, where you'd have like, there was like the Blue Eyes White Dragon, but there was like 5 of them. And like the limited edition one was like, that was the one you really wanted because it was like all the other ones, same card, but they only printed like 100 sets and it came in a certain box and it was only released for X number of days.
Right.
Okay. So yeah,
So the sets in all day, to kind of get us into first down here, right? So sets in all day are similar to that, but a little bit different. So there is a base set within the series. Both series 1 and series 2 have base sets. And then there are individual sets. I think they've actually used most of them both times again anyway, but things like Hoodwinked or He Called Game or In the Trenches or Playoff or Conference Championship. These are all limited
Walk-off home
edition
run
subsets.
sets.
These are all limited edition sets within NFL All Day that allow you to collect a specific set that you might say, hey, this set's got 9 moments in it. I want to go collect that set. And I know from when I was a kid, I was very much on that type A personality. I want to collect them all, right? And so I would usually look at the littler sets and say, okay, well, what cards do I need to collect the whole set of these? Because getting the whole 100 card base set might be tricky and be like, that's going to take some time. It might take a lot of money. I can collect the smaller run sets a little bit easier. Maybe I go to the card shop and be like, hey, do you have card number 18, 24, and 75 that are these specific sets, right? So it's a way to kind of introduce collectors into a new way to collect. And then also each of the sets, specifically in NFL All Day, all have their own kind of theme to them. Some of them have their own different rarity as well. So it's also kind of the way that they do it in All Day is a little bit tricky. There are obviously tiers of rarity, which we've talked about, which is common, rare, legendary, and ultimate. Common being common, right? Rare being the next step up from there. And usually those rare sets are going to involve moments with fewer than 2,000 mints. So again, the common sets are all going to have 10,000. The rare ones are going to have, less than 2,000 and 2,500, I think is technically the break off there. But then you might have some sets like Draw It Up, which is a mint to completion set where it has moments of all varieties. It has all the different rarities in that set. So to collect that set, you're going to need an ultimate. You're going to need 2 legendaries. You're going to need 18 rares. You're going to need 25 commons or something like that. So the sets are not just vertical. They're not just horizontal. Sometimes they're kind of diagonal, right? Where you get a little bit of all the different varieties. So I want to at least lay that out a little bit because in my mind, set completing is one of the more fun things you can do with cards. Once you get into this and you start buying your favorite moments and you start to kind of buy up your favorite plays and things like this, your favorite players, we talked about that last week with the marketplace. Once you get into this and start to realize, well, hey, I'm getting 30, 40, 50 different moments. What's the value of these moments? There is some value in completing sets. And I want to clarify this because again, there is an entire channel on the Discord for set people that complete sets. And the idea there is it's just a place for people that like completing sets to talk about and say, hey, I'm missing this moment in this set. Does anybody have it, right? Can we trade? I've got an extra moment in this other set or I'm getting rid of this other set. And so it's a place on the Discord. Once you complete a set, you're eligible to get in that Discord channel. So until you complete one, it's not available to you. But sets in general also have some value. We've talked a lot about moment value in the past, about being utility for playbooks and things like that, right? This last season, we actually saw some playbook challenges and kind of like, I think they called them bonus yards, where you could actually complete a set and submit all of the moments from a set to earn 30 bonus yards. It wasn't necessarily considered part of the playbook. It was a way to reward set collectors to say, hey, you've spent the time, energy, and money to complete this set. We're going to give you 30 yards in this playbook for completing that set. So I want to mention that because, again, there is some utility there, as well as there are some crafting challenges and some other things that are gated to only people that have a specific set. We saw it last season, actually. There was a Larry Fitzpatrick moment, I think, that was gated to people that only owned a certain specific set. And so you could only get in if you had this set, and they do a timestamp. It's not like they tell you have till this day to complete the set. They would say anybody who had the set completed at 11 a.m. on Friday is eligible to get into this crafting challenge. So then it kind of gives you that FOMO. Yeah, and we'll get into crafting a little bit here too. But crafting challenges are kind of like what we mentioned last week with the TJ Watt moment, where you would submit multiple moments and burn them to craft a better moment, right? So some of those moments, some of those challenges, let's say the crafting challenge, first of all, you had to have the set to get into the challenge to be eligible to do it. And then once you got in, you had to burn 3 of Larry Fitzgerald's moments. You had to burn 3 of those along with 3 other historical moments, and then maybe like 3 other receiver moments. And it would kind of like give you an option to burn from your collection of whatever you wanted, right? But then the output of that, let's say you burn 9, and I'm going to just kind of speculating, I don't remember the deets, but if you burned 9 moments, you would be then rewarded with a new Larry Fitzgerald rare moment. And it was only eligible to those that met the gate and then met the challenge. So the mint run on that was very low, right? And so what that ends up doing is it gives people that collect sets a little bit more of an incentive to finish off sets that they're close to, right? So I know I dropped a lot of knowledge on you there, Jordan. I'm sure you have a couple of questions, but I mean, what do you think about this in general, hearing about sets, maybe for the first time even, and how they work in All Day?
Well, I mean, I wrote down 2 things here that I think are interesting. One, the playbooks, we talked about those on the first or second show. Go back and listen to that if you want to. And we'll probably do a pin up or an updated version of these again as we get questions. But the bonus yard. So Is that kind of like a, what do you call the wild draw four in Uno, where it's like you can put that down on any playbook and it's just 30 yards?
Not
So if you're on a
necessarily.
playbook,
No.
no, okay.
It's not on any playbook. It would be on certain playbooks. Like, let's say, for instance, the most of the playbooks, the goal is 100 yards, right? And
Hmm.
some of them it'll be 150 for whatever reason. But instead of, it'll have all of the different challenges you can do, like plus 10, plus 10, plus 20, plus 10, like different, different hardness, different strengths, whatever. Then there
Uh-huh.
would be like bonus yards of plus 30. Like you would say, like, you don't need that to complete the 100 yards. But if I do that bonus yard and complete this set, I then
Okay.
don't have to do these other challenges to get
Okay.
those yards,
So
right?
so that makes sense. So what I was essentially, I was thinking, I was like, on a linear graph, I'm already at 80 yards. And I've just, I can do this other challenge and get 10 and 10, or I can complete a set and it will give me 30 bonus yards. Let's say I have three playbooks and they're all at 80. Could I, could I theoretically, can you apply those bonus yards to any of them, or there's only certain, okay, so it's
It's
certain
within the
sets will
playbook.
have certain mechanisms. So maybe two of them I could, because they had the eligibility for the set that I just redeemed my
Well,
yards in.
let me explain. Yeah. So in each playbook, it'll have a listing of what you need to do in that playbook to get yards, right? And so a lot of those will, let's put it this way, there will be enough yardages in the basic challenges to complete all of these yards to get 100. But then
Mhm.
there will be a bonus yards option for those that have the set complete to say, hey, you've got an ability, if you have this set, to do 30 yards without having to do these other
Gotcha.
challenges. You can skip some of those and still get to 100, right? But
That
then
makes
the other playbook might have a different set requirement for that. And so the
okay.
way that they do
Okay.
playbooks too is also like easy, medium, and hard, right? They call it rookie, pro, and all pro. I think they're coming up with a fourth one perhaps, but the rookie one might be a very easy set to get you 30 yards because again, it's rookie. It's meant for people that are new. The pro set might be kind of in the middle range. It might be one of those sets that involves a couple rares and a lot of commons. And then the all pro might be one of those sets that includes like a hoodwinked or something that includes, I think there's another one even that includes legendary and rares only. Like the iconic set is only legendary moments. So if you have 8 legendary moments and complete the iconic set, you get 50 yards in the All Pro Challenge. There's really only 4 or 5 people on the platform that can even do that because they're so hard to find moments, and getting them all is a little bit tricky because there isn't that much of a marketplace. So it really just rewards the top level collectors at that top level playbook. But each
Yeah.
playbook usually has options to do that. So there can be a benefit to say, oh, okay, well, this playbook has 30 yards for the base set series 2, which is only 60 something moments, right? You might say, well, I'm 35 moments away from completing that. That's not something I can attain. I'll do these other moments. They're much easier. But someone like myself, who is one moment away from completing set base series 2, it's like I might as well just buy that one moment and get my 40 yards. You know what I mean? Like that's cheaper to me.
Yep.
So it's trying to
Yep.
apply it to all different collectors. That's basically how they're doing it.
Interesting. I love that. I love that. Okay, so what I wrote down there on that was the sets. So it incentivizes more than just completing a set. It incentivizes completing sets,
Yeah,
multiple
and I want to
sets.
talk about this in more detail. So I'm going to share my screen again, like we did last week. I think this worked out really well, and kind of walk through some of how these sets work, how they look, and
Let's
kind
do
of what
that.
that might mean. So let's look at this.
All right. And I
So again,
also quickly, I had one other thing noted down here.
sure.
You said the crafting part. I thought like crafting, melding, mechanisms, kind of like it's like an engine. One piece only is one thing, but another piece is another thing. But you put three pieces together, something new is created. So I
Bingo.
like, in my head, it's about creating these analogies and seeing them as they go.
Yep.
So
That's
I
exactly.
like
You have
that.
these smaller parts that build to a better, bigger part, right?
Mhm.
But again, having it be set gated was something new last season that we saw, where only people that had completed a certain set were allowed to be, or even eligible to do it, right? So you had some people that were eligible that didn't have the moments that would then say, "Hey, I'm eligible. Does somebody want to like trade me the moments? I'll give you the output." Right? There's
Mhm.
different ways that you can get through this, but
Which view do you like better? Do you like this
this is
view?
perfect. No, this is perfect. Again, if you're
Or
listening on audio form, definitely want to tune into the YouTube channel so you can see this. Um,
sorry.
It's okay. We're good.
There
Right,
we go.
we're good right here. Just we're good. We're good right
YouTube,
here, man.
what's up, y'all?
So anyway, this is so you can see the sets. This is again from my own personal collection, right? So we're gonna just use that because it's easier to explain. But I'm here on my collection. You go here. I'll even just kind of browse to it again. We go to my collection. It shows all the different things, all the different moments. It shows those ones we opened last week. You can go here to sets. Then takes you to a page where it shows all of the sets and shows your progress. There's 27 sets in progress. I want to see my set progress more specifically. And that's how I got to that page I was on before. So you'll notice here, Series 1 base has 181 moments in it. There's 181 moments in Series 1 base set. And I have all 181 of them. So that set is officially green. It's done. Same with Move the Chains, Make the Stop, Ball Hawk, He Called Game, and Showtime. Now you'll notice this Ball Hawk has 27. This is a limited edition set, right? He Called Game has only got 18, and Showtime only has 7. Okay, if I keep scrolling, you notice these are ones I do not have completed. And the gold means that they usually include some sort of, these are all white, as you can see. These are considered like common or rare sets. The gold ones include legendary and other harder to find ones. Game Changer includes some more rares I just haven't purchased, same with Afterburners. But again, like Iconic, this series is 43 moments in this Iconic set, right? So let's open this one just to show you what this looks like. Because this Iconic one is, man, if you have the Iconic set, you're top collecting the market, in my opinion. Let's see if it loads up for us. But anyway, the idea behind this too is to incentivize people maybe at all sorts of ranges of the market and all sorts of user, collections, to try to incentivize people to say, hey, let's see what we can get, right? This set here is all legendary moments. So I've got one, this Michael Davis legendary moment, which is a great moment against my Bengals, which is why I bet. But you can see here, there's a bunch of these moments that are all, team moments. Aaron Rodgers is in here. Aaron Donald is in here. Ben Roethlisberger is in here. This is Series 1 Iconic. These are all like the top plays of that year, pretty much. So again, to complete these legendaries, you see the numbers on the screen here, 899, 925, 625. That's per moment. To get 43 of these moments, 2,500 for that Burrow moment, 440 for the Mixon moment. You know what I mean? Like 800 for this Kyler crafting reward, right? So like to get all of these moments means you're investing maybe $100,000 in the platform to complete this one set. So this is not a set I will ever complete. I'm going to say it right now. If I do, something had to have happened in a massive way for my life. This is just a crazy moment that I do not see myself ever getting. That being said, I have some other sets completed that are in that smaller to medium range. I mentioned the base set, but let's go to Move the Chains. 33 moments in this set. Okay. So this set, again, it's a limited edition set. Sometimes it does this refresh thing. I'm hoping it doesn't do it to us today. So now you can see these are almost all common moments, but they're out of 8,000 instead of 10 because they're a little bit more limited edition, right? So you can see like Michael Pittman, you got Detroit Lions, Ryan Tannehill. These are all 3, 2, 3. Like these are all cheaper moments. So to complete this set may only take, if it's 33 moments and each one's 3, may take $100 to complete this whole set. Right. And these are all still good plays. There's still value. They still got all day debut badges, right? You got Noah Fant's debut in here. You've got AJ Green again, RIP. I missed that guy. Amari Cooper's debut badges in here, right? So like not everybody is considered part of that base set. And so again, the idea is you can complete this set if you want. If you got it's about $100, I'm betting altogether, right? You got a Kyler Murray moment in here. So if you're looking for a way to add utility and grow your collection, you might look at these sets and say, well, okay, which one of these sets makes the most sense for me to go after? It's got a Pat Mahomes in this set. It's not a debut, but maybe that's what I'm going after. What's that?
It said $21.
$21 for that Pat Mahomes moment. Yep. So again, you get the idea, right? There's a bunch of different moments in here that you can collect, and you might look at this and say, these have a lot of good offensive players for fantasy. Maybe this is a set I want to go after. And that's the point. You can then try to collect this set and have a way to say, okay, well, I only need 1 or 2 moments, for instance. Let's go back to the sets. I'll show you here in Series 2. I've got these sets completed, Inside the Pylon and Hoodwink, but that's it. With Series 2 base, I'm missing 1 moment. I've got 1 moment to let to
Which one are you missing?
This. Let's pull this up. So this is the reason I'm waiting is because they haven't released a lot of these Series 2 sets all the way yet. They're done being minted, but they're not all the way released. So they've only released about, I think it's 1,000 of the 5,000, or I think it's 10,000. There's only released like 2,500 or something of this set. And again, sometimes my browser does this refresh thing. Yep, it just keeps, we're not going to buy it. But there is 1 moment that I'm missing that's like $7. But I feel like once they release more moments, that price will most likely come down. And there's no, I'm not dying to complete the set yet. I'm keeping an eye on it. You better believe. But the point of this whole thing is like, it's a way to make it so that it makes it more fun to collect and to look at your sets and be like, how close am I to some of these? You know, like I'm only 3 away from Make the Stop, 2 away from Move the Chains.
Do you ever trade with guys? So like, would you ever just like say, hey, I'll send you 4 pieces of firewood if you send me this, that $7 moment just because you.
I've done that almost exact same trade. Yes, there are people in the set collection thing that'll say, and I've done that myself, where I say, hey, I'm missing this 1 moment from the base set. Does anybody want firewood in exchange for it? Like, does anybody want 3 base commons for it? Like I'll send you 3 $2 moments for 1 $6 moment. And I'll just complete the set and be done.
Yeah.
That definitely happens a lot, especially in that set chat within the Discord. Again, if you
I
get
was gonna
sets, you
say,
kind of get access to that.
that's another one of those things where getting into these different discords is going to get you different communities where you can get in more trade heavy guys, or guys who, are you probably know a couple other guys who are right there on a couple of sets with you, and you guys are all kind of like chatting and trying to gamify how you're going to get in there. So I really like, again, like I said in the last show, how they give you a lot of outlets to be productive, I mean, to do things with the moments outside of just like look at them, you know what I mean? Or
Well, they
display
try to
them.
cater to all different kinds of collectors, right? Like I'm a set
Mhm.
collector. I like collecting sets. They definitely utilize the set mechanic in this. And again, inside the pylons, 26 moments in this set, right? And so if we click on this, again, this is a series two limited set or whatever you want to call it. It's still common. And the series 2 ones are always having this issue. We'll see if this still. So again, I got 4 of these Paris Campbell moments, right? So if somebody comes to me and is like, hey, I'm missing Paris Campbell in that set, they could go buy it for $2. Or someone like yourself who may not have a lot of cash in their wallet, but they've got other moments, they can be like, hey, I'm looking for Paris Campbell. Does anybody want another base for it? I might be like, yeah, I'll trade you. I got 4 of them. I don't care. I'll trade you one of these for another firewood. It helps you, it helps me. Like, who cares, right? So that's where it can be kind of fun too in these sets. And again, you can notice these are all out of 7,000. They're all common, all common sets, right? This is just all common moments out of 7,000. Some of them have championship year that badges aren't showing, but there's championship year, there's all day debut, there's all these rookie mint badges, things like that. So again, the point of all of this is that this is a fun. Actually, while we're here, let's talk about this Peyton Hendershot moment. This moment caused some stir in the market. You'll notice it's a 7,000 mint moment, part of this inside the pylon set, right? So you'll notice it's $23 for this common moment, and it's Peyton Hendershot. Why is it worth so much? Well, you might notice it's 7,000 mint, 5,623 have been burned. That's effectively a rare moment now because it's under 2,000. And they burned it because there was some kind of questionable stuff with this blockchain.com, we think, was used in this moment, which is again not. It's a competitor to some of the other blockchain things that are supporting Dapper. So Dapper released this in some packs. People bought it, they got it, whatever. And then about a week later, they said, hey, we don't want that on the platform anymore. They can't take it from me. I own that moment. But Dapper burned the rest of the remaining stock, which turned it into a rare moment. So this Peyton Hendershot moment is now a rare moment with $23 ask. You know what I mean? Like now it's hard to find. There aren't that many of them. It's minted to 7,000, but no, it's not.
And why did they burn it? They chose to burn most of the supply because there's like an ad in here somewhere.
There's an ad in the back here for blockchain.com. That's what the speculation is that the owners of the VC capital funders of Dapper and all this didn't want a product
they don't want their competition to even be in the most obscure shot,
Right. So that was what we think it is. It's all speculation. I don't know if they've ever given us an official answer, but I love that idea that Dapper burned those moments, which made this into a rare. Yep. One of the weird things about sets, because now this set, while it is inside the pylons, is a common set, right? And the way that this whole set is set up, the way that everything is in the set, it's a common set out of 7,000. But this Peyton Hendershot moment is going to be a tough one to get. It's $23.
So
it's a little bit harder to find.
So they're basically capping how many people can even have this set. That's fascinating.
Bingo. Bingo. Exactly. So that makes this set a little harder to get, right? And that's the other benefit of this is that as moments get burned.
There was a moment when it wasn't that hard, but like you said, the market changed, and suddenly, if you were one of those guys who didn't burn your Peyton Hendershot, because I'm sure everybody who got it early was probably like,
I didn't, and I'm glad I didn't.
Like get rid of it. But then you wake up one day and Dapper's like, oh yeah, they're all dead. You're like, no.
Well, again, that's part of why I started collecting sets in general, just because I felt like as people were burning things, you're exactly right. Even to kind of use the metaphor, like we were talking about firewood, right? And actually, I'll do this through the marketplace because I think it'll be easier. One of the most burned moments that the community is backed and kind of decided to burn is the Jalen Reagor moment. And I think we talked about this a little bit before. There was kind of a movement in the Discord for a little bit where it's like, well, if we had to pick any moment to burn, like why not do something that's going to help us out, right? Yeah. So there was a time, still is technically a time where people are burning Jalen Reagor's just for the fact of it lowers the overall ability to complete this set. So this is a base series 1, but look at this, 3,900 have already been burned. We're down to 6,000 people now that can complete base set series 1. And the more people that burn this, it's up to $4 already. It was $2 at one point. But the more people that burn this, the harder this set, base set series 1, is to complete, which is already hard with 181 moments. So it makes it so set completion can be a whole nother angle that you put in your brain and say, let me look at it from sets and see what I can complete.
Well, what I like about this is there's no losers. You know what I mean? The people who burned him, they got to burn their firewood and they got to do what they were trying to do. And the people who didn't, they woke up and they see that this is an inflationary, resistant sort of asset where I didn't choose to burn mine. So now it becomes a little bit more worthwhile. Now it's more of a sale. Maybe I can get more out of a $4 sale than I could out of a $2 burn. That's not to say the guy who did the $2 burn messed up. You know what I mean? So I love that. You know what I mean? Like that's like you're not seeing people get hurt because other people are winning. You know what I mean? Like they've really sort of
well, burning itself is such a fun kind of community. Yeah, it can be a community activity. But this is something else I wanted to bring up regarding sets. Here's base set series 1, right? And I started it from high to low. Well, guess what? Tom Brady in here with his all-day debut is $72. There's already people there. I paid way more than that. I'll be honest. I paid way more than that to get his debut moment because again, it's Tom Brady. You know what I mean? He's the GOAT. I think it'll go back up too. But the point I'm getting at is even with the $72, that's going to make a lot of people not as likely to complete this base 1 set. Again, there's 181 moments in this set. It takes forever. You got this $20 Burrow debut. You got Jamar Chase's all day debut rookie, all the 18. Like this base set has got some studs in it. Jamar Jefferson or Justin Jefferson over here, right? Josh Allen. Like these are stud moments that are all debuts. These are worth some money. This is series 1, the first series ever minted. And again, if you're going to start anywhere, that's where I recommend people start is go try to see what you can get in series 1. I recommend starting with some of those cheaper sets, like I mentioned before, inside the pylons, move the chains, those kind of things. But I always think having 181 moments in a set makes it tougher to complete and therefore is a harder gate for people to pass through. So there have been a couple times in the last, 6 months or so where they've gated things, crafting challenges or playbook rewards, whatever it might be. And they say, hey, if you've completed base set series 1, you get a little bonus out of it because they want to reward people for doing this kind of effort and bringing this kind of collection ability to the site. So again, that's one of the many reasons I think set collecting is so fun and kind of another dynamic within a dynamic of this whole game.
Well, they have effectively done what you hear so many business models say they want to do. So many NFT companies and projects they want to do. They're literally rewarding the people who are actually doing stuff. You know what I mean? And that's what's interesting about this because it is the NFL and this is like a real, this isn't a startup, Web3 project where everybody can just go home empty-handed except the guy who started it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of not just intellectual property, but there's a lot of like integrity property, and these are generations of consumers of this product. So this isn't a cash grab, this isn't something that's here today, gone tomorrow. This is something that is essentially being layered on top of what we already love and enjoy.
Bingo.
And again, the way they've, coming from Web3 and doing other things in Web3, being involved, the Bash, like I won the Bash, shout out to that, doing other NFT projects, just here, there, and everywhere. One of the main things people say is there's no real utility, it doesn't take a lot, but they're really doing something here that's a little different. And I think this is, I'm just fascinated by this. Like I said, it's cool that there aren't really any losers, in these mechanisms and these challenges, you know what I mean? And you can share with each other, send each other things, talk to each other, build communities, and you can still build communities around teams, the Bengals, the Steelers, or players from a fantasy context. Oh my gosh, who had Josh Allen just now? Oh my gosh, did you see this? And it's, oh my gosh, is that going to be a moment this week? Like it's a crescendoing effect, and again, it's just layering on top of this beautiful, beautiful, wonderful game of football that we all love here. Hopefully we have international watchers, but here in America, we love football. So,
well, again, just as a football fan, I loved collecting cards when I was a kid. I loved collecting like playing cards and trading cards or whatever, like, kind of getting the whole sets and all of that with physical cardboard that is worth nothing now, right? It's literally just sitting in a box in my mom's basement at this point, like just collecting dust, right? The other thing is, even now, like as an adult, like collecting cards and like getting into breaks and all these different things with card collecting has been kind of fun. But ultimately, it's like, well, what am I going to do with all that? It's just going to sit in a drawer somewhere. Maybe it accrues in value, maybe it doesn't. But what's the point, right? It gets to be a little bit trickier too, because physical cards take up a lot of physical space. And so when you have these kind of sets, I can collect 800 moments in a digital way that I don't have to actually have any physical space taking up in my house, right? And it still gives me that collection ability. It still kind of scratches that itch. It allows me to be a fan of the game. It allows me to use these moments for fantasy purposes. It allows me to use my fantasy knowledge in a different way. Like, it allows me to buy moments that I like for a couple of bucks, just like you would on eBay, right? If I'm going to go buy a physical card on eBay, it's going to be $2, $3, $4 plus shipping and all this. I tried to buy a card. It was a $5 card, and it was $5 for shipping. It was going to cost me $10 to have this card physically sent to me. And I was just like, I'd rather spend that on all day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather spend it in here and get some actual utility out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's that card going to do in my drawer? Depreciate in value? Like, what the heck?
And here's the thing, too, on top of that. This is not to say that those things aren't mutually exclusive. I in my head, I mean, I'm a thinker.
Bingo.
There's no way in the world that they aren't going to send some people unique, one-of-a-kind, physical sort of mirroring pieces to some of these collections. If you complete this set, everyone, we're going to have a limited deal with Panini, shout out to Fanatics, all these big brands that all love to, get each other's customers, whatever. But you're the only person who can redeem this. How? You plug your wallet in here, go there. You have this set. Guess what? You're getting one of 6.
Well, let me cut you off, because that's kind of happening already, but not how you think it is, right?
I know,
so
but
Panini
awesome.
Panini has their own digital marketplace for digital trading cards. From what I understand, they don't have any utility, and they're not necessarily NFTs. They're just more digital trading cards. I've not really gotten into that. Panini is not going to let anybody else come into their ecosystem. They're going to do it themselves. That's kind of what they've always done. In all honesty, same with almost every company, right? But what Dapper and NFL All Day are doing is taking people that collect things, putting them into drawings to win tickets to the Super Bowl. They're winning tickets to go visit with Pat Mahomes and get signed autographs from Terry Bradshaw. Like, they're actually taking people that have big collections and are putting them into things and rewarding them, like you just said. So they're already doing that, just not with Panini. They're just
and this has been around, what, a year, 2?
Year and a half.
What happens in 10 years? You know what I'm saying,
Exactly.
Andrew, when you have been sitting on this set in NFL All Day, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, people like you, and me, and, it's just the equity of holding the moment from a personal standpoint, but from a long-term, again, the fan standpoint, to be able to unlock certain things with generations and with fans and with individual people and games and all that. It's this emotional sort of shared experience that, again, is what the NFL is and what football is. And it's just that thing that makes it so special. I mean,
bingo. You
see a Steelers fan, you see a Bengals fan, who dey, who dat,
That's right.
Here we go. The shout outs, and it's like, it's a shared camaraderie, and that stuff matters, So I'm just, again, I feel like I'm just a little kid in a candy shop right now.
I know.
I don't have, I mean, it's like, I literally have 3 moments, and I'm just like, I want them all. And I don't even know what I would do with them necessarily yet, but I'm just like, yes, you know what I mean? Because I know they're going to be, they're right up they're literally what I love and what I do. So the thing that's interesting, though, is because it's so new, there's no real narrative or story. I told you before we came on, like, this is the quest. Like, you're my old,
I'm the
haggard, teacher, and I'm the man questing here. Like, you're sending me on my journey. This is going to be awesome to go through. And you only have like 1 year ahead of me. So, this is so cool.
There's no wrong way to collect. We say that a lot in here too. There's no wrong way to do this. Whatever makes you happy, whatever brings you joy. If you want to get in it for the money and buy low, sell high, and make money on this, go for it. If you want to get in for the set collecting and all of that, go for it. If you want to get in for the fantasy aspect, go for it. Like, there's no wrong way to do this. And that's what I love about this platform and All Day in general. We kind of breezed through second down yet again, but we got into a lot of different things with sets. I know there are going to be more questions, but do you feel like you've got a good idea, at least for sets, before we just engage on that for the day?
I have a good, yeah. This is episode 1 of this. We're going to do maybe an updated one in a month or 2, come back around to it before the season kicks off. But I have a good foundational understanding now, and I understand why they have value and why there's something to pursue. There's more than one. It's not like there's just one health bar in NFL All Day. There are multiple health bars. There are multiple things. It's like football. Offense, defense, special teams. Like, everybody has a spot. Some guys have more than one spot, but it's like, it's not just one thing, but it is one cohesive thing. So I love it. Thank you again. Like, again, the marketplace sets, I mean, the playbooks, I have an understanding
packs,
of when I get on the site, packs, what I'm doing and where to go to fill out my health bar, shall we say,
exactly. So let's actually see what we get. We're going to do another pack opening today. I know people love that. It was really exciting last time. We got some good ones. So let's open this one again today. So I've shared my screen if you want to pull it up.
I got to pull out of here. My bad.
You're good. This again, another hot route pack. Just got a few of these that we want to open and kind of see what we can pull. And let's see what kind of sets we can get out of this, right? Let's specifically focus on that since that's our topic for today. So let's see maybe we can get some limited sets. Maybe we get some like small run sets. Let's kind of see what we got. Again, series 2 only. So we're not going to get any series moments in these packs, which is fine. Start over here on the left, as I tend to do. We're looking at it's a common moment from Jaquan Brisker. We talked about last week, moment of the week. This is a sack from October 2nd. It is part of the Make the Stop set. So again, not a base set. But again, look at that. What a beast. Oh my God. Took him right down.
Yeah. Look,
he didn't let so again, if you're listening, you're not seeing it, but terrific
Sound
defensive
tackling.
play. I know you like defense. That's the way to go. Wrap him up, take him down. Love it. So again, that's Jaquan Brisker, number 4355 out of 5,000. So again, at 5,000 lower mint, higher serial, but that's okay. That's okay. You got to take them when you can. Here's another common. This is another set. Perfect. Inside the pylons, Paris Campbell. We were just talking about this. I think I now have 5 of these moments. This is number 1999 out of 7,000. Terrific reception and run after the catch into the end zone. Hell of a play. He gets bumped around a little bit here at the end, but he does not deter. This is clearly before his ACL went bye-bye again. But November 13th, 2022, his all-day debut moment, Paris Campbell on the platform. Gotta love it. And again,
rocking that number 1 too. Rocking that number 1, doing his best Jamar Chase impression.
Hell of a play. Look at the end there, little flip to the ref. Gotta love that. He's dancing. He's having a great time. That's what we like to see. All right, let's see the next moment here. See if we can get something good on this one. Common 8101, so it's definitely a base. Yeah, we got Aaron Rodgers in the December 4th, 2022 for the Packers. I got 8101 out of 10,000 on this. This is a terrific pass. Dancing out of the pocket, flick of the wrist, bam, touchdown. Christian Watson. That's a heck of a play against the Bears too. Just what a quick release that guy has. Nailed it right in there. God, power.
Well, and he's a risk taker. That's the thing. I see this a lot. Certain guys know they can get away with throwing balls like that if they mess it up or don't, but he's not going to. But because they know they can, they just make it. That's Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers. Gotta love that one. That's a fun moment. That could come in handy this year. Here we go. We got our last moment is another common, but again, from a smaller set, Heroes and Heartbreakers. This is the Kendall Fuller moment. I love this moment. I've seen this one before. It's his debut, number 2465 out of 4,500. Tip ball, catch it in the end zone, and it's his for the Commanders. Again, tip ball, live ball, those are tricky for defenses to get your eyes back where it's going, collect it, not even a question that is an interception in the end zone, stopping the Falcons at their goal line. Clearly going to Cordero Patterson. Couldn't get it to him with that tip from the lineman. Fuller brings it down. Love it. Nice. So there it is. Both ways. We're seeing offense and defense here. I love it. 2 and 2. That's how we do it. Again, heck of a set, though. I think that's pretty good. We got 2 all-day debuts, one of which is under 2,000 on the common. I like that. We've also got the rookie year for Jaquan Brisker. So, again, I'm not upset with that pack pull at all. I'm very happy with that. What did you think of that one, Jordan? You like that one?
I liked it. Yeah, like you said, we got 2 offense, 2 defense. That defensive play, just good play. They're all good plays. These are moments. Again, this is important because sometimes you forget these things. This happened. The team won, but who did what? Going back, these moments matter. Watching these plays unfold matter. So I thought we got a good pack. Nobody rare. I'm excited for the day we pull a rare on here. But
it'll happen, man. I'm telling you, one of these days it'll happen. It'll be exciting. But there's the pack. That's our show for the day. Oh, except, wait, I forgot. We got to do our moment of the week. We can't forget that. I picked this one specifically for you, my friend. I know that we talked about this last time. You're a Steelers fan. I was like, I shared a Bengals moment. We got to share a Steelers moment at some point in here. We shared Jaquan Brisker last week, defense. Let's go Steelers offense. And I went with Kenny Pickett. You want to pull that one up? This is, again, Series 2 base on that big set. Is a debut rookie year where he drives it into the end zone. And this one actually has a audible component to it, which I don't know if you can. I don't think it's going to work on this, but some of these moments actually have the ability to listen to someone talk about it. So this is actually Kenny Pickett.
Really knew where I was going to be going. I think I had a range
as a part of this moment.
Everyone kind of thought that was phenomenal moment. There's a lot of trades going on in like the mid round.
Kenny Pickett talk about
like
that
12.
moment, talk about his rookie year. And again, not every moment has these audible components. They're trying to bring that more into the platform. I've even heard that they're going to be adding that to moments down the road. They might be adding audible components to moments already minted and kind of adding that as a functionality or feature. I know that they're going to try to do it more in the future too. So just another fun thing to keep a view of and say, hey, I like Kenny Pickett. I like the Steelers. This one has him talking on the moment. Like, that's pretty cool. So what do you think of this one, Jordan?
I think it's a good moment. My thoughts on Kenny Pickett aren't quite as nice, but that's a heck of a moment. I mean, he running into the end zone. He was excited. I do like that he plays with his heart on his sleeve a little bit. He's not like Kyler where when something goes bad, he's like pouting and pointing. But like when he does something good, like he be stepping over dudes, letting them know like you ain't nothing. So I do like that about him. I need him to just have more moments like that. So
that's right. That's right. And again, that was in a losing game. I hate to say it, but that was a good moment. And that was a heck of a moment for an all-day debut. I'm fine with that. So again, that's our moment of the week. I think it had a couple of badges. It was a Series 2 base. Like, you got to love that after our Series 2 pack open. But with that, we've covered an awful lot today. Anything about sets, if you've still got questions, feel free to hit us up on Twitter at All Day Both Ways. On Twitter, you can find me at Andrew Hall FF. You can find Jordan at 50 Shades of Drunk. Make sure you tag us and like, rate, review, all that kind of stuff. Subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to the IDP Army channel here, and definitely come back every time we're posting these episodes. We want to hear from you guys. So tag us in polls, reply to our comment, tweets, whatever you got to do. And other than that, Jordan, anything you want to say before we kick it out of here today?
No, just thank you, Andrew, and everyone who's on this journey, this quest with us. Like I said, it's us. So leave comments, leave feedback. We are here to go on this adventure and this journey together, and I look forward to putting together some sets in the near future.
I like it. Yeah, let's go build our sets out and let's get that collection growing. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. And with that, we'll see you next time.